The hotter it gets, the more enticing water becomes to kids. Drowning is the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4 in this region.
And over the last 5 years, more than 40 children under the age of 6 died from drowning here in the Tampa Bay area. 6 of those deaths occurred just last year.
Paula Scott with the Children's Board of Hillsborough County is here to tell us about an awareness campaign designed to change that. Paula, great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
This is a new tool. It's only a 5-minute video, but what's contained in that video?
So the campaign was developed to educate parents and caregivers on the prevention of the 3 leading causes of what are essentially 100% preventable child death. So it's an educational piece on drowning prevention, as well as preventing unsafe sleep deaths for infants, and then also shaken baby syndrome.
Okay.
And I think what a lot of people may not realize is in the amount of water a child, particularly a young child, could actually drown in. Tell us about that, Paul.
Children can drown in as little as 1 inch of water, especially young children that do not have that neck and head control yet.
So we're talking maybe a pet bowl.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're looking at an example of what a child can drown in.
Right.
Yeah, it's not just the backyard pool necessarily.
Right. So very young children, these are the dangers around your home. Once they're up and mobile, then we're talking pools, retention ponds, canals. Those types of things are incredibly dangerous for children that are unattended.
And a lot of people don't realize that children can drown silently. They're not thrashing around like you'd think of somebody who's drowning. So this is something that we really have to be aware of.
It is. When a child drowns, it's a very small splash as they enter the water, and that is the last sound that you will hear. So we talk to parents and caregivers that if your child gets out of your sight, even for a very brief amount of time, and they have any access to water, 2/3 of those children were lasting in the home, so check water first. You have only 20 seconds. They can drown in as little as 20 seconds.
Let's talk about how young we could start giving our kids swim lessons, because obviously that would help with prevention of these drowning accidents. So how young is too young, and when would be a good time to start?
The American Academy of Pediatrics actually just came out with a recommendation that children can start swim lessons as young as 1 year of age. And we know that providing formal swim lessons for children reduces their chance of drowning by 88%. So it is critically important that parents take that step.
And it's we've seen the videos of these little kids, and they just know that they've got to flip themselves over so they can breathe and get on their back.
Kids take to water really well, don't they?
Kids love water. That's part of the problem.
Right?
They're incredibly curious, and they want to get in the water, and then they just don't know they're gonna be in danger.
What about keeping kids within arm's reach? Obviously, you want to have them around you all the time, but when some parents I've seen think, well, they're going to be with the older kids in the pool, so it's okay.
So not only is it not okay to assume that other children are going to be keeping an eye out for their friends that are in the pool, but it's also important that parents understand that if they're with other adults at the pool, you need to have one person that's committed to watching the children at all times. So children will not watch other children, and parents need to assume and take responsibility for one person at a time, taking turns watching the children in the pool.
And obviously, if you own a pool, you need to, by law, I believe, have a fence or a barrier around that pool, correct?
Absolutely, that's correct. A self-latching, self-locking gate is the best option, and we sincerely encourage any pool owner to take advantage of that and do that for the safety of all the children that could be visiting.
What about the little alarms that you can buy, little wristwatches and things like that? Do those really help?
So there's a lot of new technology coming out for drowning prevention, from wristwatches to things that children wear around their necks. So there's a lot of opportunities to explore what works best for a pool owner. But yes, door alarms as well are important. If a child is just getting old enough to be able to open doors, you can put alarms on there that will alert you to the door being open so that you can attend to that child before they get in a dangerous situation.
What about hidden hazards? What should we be aware of when it comes to things like that?
Hidden hazards, again, I think that's just stressing the 1 inch of water. Never, ever leave your child alone in a bathtub. Make sure that when you close bathroom doors, they can drown in toilets, oddly enough. They're top heavy, so they can pop over into the toilet, and we've lost children that way. So just anything where there is an opportunity for water, baby pools,
inflatable
make sure those
pools.
are always, absolutely, anything like those need to be drained every time you use them.
And where can we see this very, very informational 5-minute video?
So the 5-minute video, visit preventneedlessdeaths.com, and please share it with any other caregivers that can use the information. That's certainly part of the campaign, is educate yourself and share.
Okay, Paula Scott, Good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
And
much.
we'll be